I actually brought something.
Well, don't talk about it yet. Announce the show, and then you can talk about what you brought to school.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Bigg Vinny's Show and Tell. Today, I'm going to show you my tail. No. Anyways.
Whoa.
What just happened?
Yeah. Anyway. So
I feel like that's something we should be saying right now, not you.
You don't know what I got in this bag. You don't know what
got in that
You don't know what I got in this bag. Hey, welcome to the Refined Life Podcast. I'm Bigg Vinny. That's Jerry Blake. This is Jeff Suter. We're going to have a good time today, and if you don't like it, you are uninvited. We only have good times on this show. We might piss you off.
Wait, but if they're at home, they're entitled to not have a good time, right?
That's true. You can not have a good time on this show if you want, but it's going to be really hard.
We believe in freedom of time.
Yeah.
Your time, your choice.
You know, I listened to the podcast today, the one that came out today. I listened to it on my, while I was doing leg day. And it was perfect. It was like 1 hour almost to the T. And I finished like right as we were finishing with my workout. I was finishing with the podcast. It was really good.
I thought it was a good one too.
It was cool.
It was dope. Yeah.
I learned a lot in that episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't listening to us when we said it. But when I heard it back, I was like, wow.
It's just different when you listen back to it. It really is. Like, I feel like when I listen back to it, I'm like, dude, I can't believe we said that. Are we that smart? Or did they edit something in and make us sound like AI?
AI. Because we're not that smart.
I don't. I mean, I would maybe, but I don't think we're popular enough to have AI yet.
Oh, he's over there. He's sitting behind that computer.
Oh, he's doing it?
Yeah. He's
now already?
He's real AI.
I don't feel like we're
and
paying
then
enough
he
for
knows
AI.
how to operate AI. Well, all I know is that little dude, what's his name? Gary V. He said, if you're not using AI tools, you're falling behind. That's what he said. Just like that. Guys, if you're not using AI, you're like 16 years in the past already. You got to start using it right now. If you're not using it, you're not going to get where you're going in life. You're going to wake up 10 years from now. You're going to be like those guys that didn't want to send out their own emails and they had somebody print it off and bring it to them. That's what you're going to be like if you don't start using AI tools. That's what he said.
I feel like that
Gary V.
I'm left speechless.
I don't know. We talked about social media before. I'm pretty sure AI pisses me off way more than social media does.
I just learned what AI actually means. I kept just saying AI. I thought that was like the name of it. Yeah, I didn't realize. Like,
See, we told y'all we're not that smart.
I've heard people saying, like when they were playing video games, they kept saying AI, and I thought that was the actual word was AI, and I just realized
you thought AI was a word.
Yeah, I thought that was. I didn't realize. I didn't realize
2 words.
AI.
That's what I mean. I thought that's what it was called. I didn't realize it was short for artificial intelligence.
I'm still thrown off by that.
Well, I mean, I don't play a whole lot of video games.
Neither do I.
Oh, snap.
That sounds like a fart.
But does AI sound like a word to you? Because it sounds like 2 letters to me.
Hey!
That's you see how it doesn't flow together? Definitely feels like 2 different words.
Well, no, that's 2 words too. I was gonna say AJ, but that's stands for.
You're not helping your case.
Yeah. So back to the podcast. I brought a nice little bag of goodies since we are on here. Just want y'all to know I got to play golf with Bo Jackson.
That's pretty awesome.
Heck yeah.
Golf with Bo Jackson. I got his autograph. Now listen, I'm gonna let y'all know something. For the first 3 holes, he was not a happy camper. But old Bigg Vinny got in there and cracked that hard turtle shell he had on there. I got him all broke down. The next thing I know, I was hearing all kinds of cool stories about his football days and his baseball days and how much he loves golf, and he's really good at golf. But on hole 3, he hit a bad shot. And since he'd already kind of been a grumpy grump all morning, I decided to go. Apparently, Bo don't know golf. Oh. And he looked at me, he goes,
that was a bold move.
That was a bold move.
Especially he's even grumpy. That's a bold move.
But I mean, at that point, I was like, look, if he leaves, we're not missing out on anything. But you know what it did? He said, he looked at me and goes, you ain't shot nothing good all day. I was like, we only on hole 3. I was like, but there's a good chance that in 18 holes, I will still not shoot anything we'll actually use. However,
by the way, I'm not the professional athlete on this
I told
team.
him that. I said, I wasn't a professional athlete. He goes, you big as one. And I said, well, that's true.
But I wasn't as smart as one, apparently.
Well, that's true. I made a 13 on my ACT. But anyways, all I'm saying is I broke him down. We ended up having a great time. He opened up. He talked about all kinds of stuff. He's got a new sports drink coming out called A-Game that's made by the same people that made Body Armor. And super, super cool dude. When we got him to open up, I think, he probably does so many of those that he's probably expecting it to be like people praising him or like, being off. And I think all of us, it was me, Jordan Cooper, dang, who else was with us? David Frazier. And there was one more.
Joe's brother?
No.
Oh.
Coop. I'll have to get his name. Anyways, I just met him. Super nice guy that we met that day. Anyways, what I'm saying
I hope
is,
that guy's listening.
I'm going to find his name right now.
You forgot about him.
No, I got to say his name. Don't. I'm going to make sure I say it.
Well, you remembered Bo Jackson.
Damn right.
Well, I mean, I've been saying that name since I was born. So come out of the womb. Bo Jackson, I want to break a bat over my neck and my knee and my thigh. Anyways, let me pull it up. Wait, who was I looking up?
Nobody. Nope.
I was.
While
No.
he does this, I'm still speechless over the
I got it right here.
AI. One word. AI.
We questioned whether
Okay.
he could do math before he
Hang
came in a few minutes ago,
I'm going to find it.
And can he AI?
You know what blows my mind about that the most is when he said it, that my mind didn't go there. My mind thought, how could you not know what that stands for? Never occurred to me that he might think that was one word.
Well, you don't get to tell me what I think.
Nope, I couldn't even guess.
He just,
Anyways, I can't think of his name.
Fortunately,
right now.
I don't have
But
to guess
this
you,
guy
but you
was
tell me.
super awesome. He was the best golfer on our team. The other guy.
oh, he was the ringer.
He was the best golfer, and the second best was Bo Jackson, and then the third best was probably Coop, and then Frazier, and then me.
Okay.
So,
But Cooper, because you called somebody else Coop a minute ago.
yeah, but that's because I was trying to think of the other guy's name, which is going to come to me in a minute when I think about it.
You just made it up.
Bam! I'm going to hit you in the face with it. Anyways, all I'm saying is they were really good at golf, and I was really not. So we did end up like 12 under, but we did not use one of my shots the entire day.
Well, that's
Though I did have a couple of good shots, they just didn't quite go straight. They went as far, but not as straight as Bo Jackson.
Is that really considered good then?
Yes, because if we hadn't had Bo Jackson on our team, it probably.
Are you pissy about having Bo Jackson on your team?
No,
now?
I was so
He's
excited.
Still salty.
Yeah.
But now Jamie No did come out and let me know that he was never talking to me again because he didn't get to play golf with Bo Jackson. He said he was so jealous. And I was like, well, you know what? You're in your house in Montana with your horses and your wife and your kids and your, luscious mansion in the Montana hills. So
Does he rent that out by chance?
no,
His
but he was-
wife and kids? What are you talking about?
hey, he did. Hey, he told me I have an open invitation to go out to his Montana house anytime. However, I haven't taken him up on that yet because he's like, bring the kids out here. I'm like, I don't know if you've been in a car with my daughter, but she don't
No, you
like
fly
it.
with her.
You fly to Montana.
No. I
Yeah.
know. I won't. I am okay with.
I mean,
putting
I'm
my-
not flying with you.
No,
but-
yeah, I'm okay putting myself through it for 7 hours driving to North Carolina this weekend. What I'm not okay doing is putting everybody else on the plane through it for
Bro,
for
people
4 hours.
do it to me all the time, man.
Yeah, but
It happens.
You should do it.
But you've heard my daughter on the phone. She got pipes, bro.
I think that's perfect payback for how much I've traveled
you know
and
what?
heard babies.
You're right. But I just when the babies are crying on the plane, I'm just like, hey man, that person that's dealing with it, that has that baby with them, they already know.
Yeah, they're
I love when people
stressing
are like,
it.
how can you get that baby to be quiet? You think I wouldn't if I could? I always feel bad for him because I know how stressful, especially when you see the dad, he's got 3 kids in front of him, then he's got the baby in his hand and he's carrying a stroller, and he has to drop it off at the front. And that baby's going to cry at some
And
point.
the car seat, too.
And the car seat, Anyways, so what I'm saying is I played golf with Bo Jackson. I got my little bag at the Eddie George Golf Classic, Celebrity Golf Classic. But I got this bag from the thing, and it's a really nice bag. I'm going to start putting all my stuff in it, but I'm not going to carry it anywhere because it's got Bo Jackson's autograph on it.
All your stuff?
Yeah, like my,
It'll fit in that
it's
bag?
a toiletry bag.
Oh, that's a big toiletry bag. All right.
I don't know. What else would you put in this thing?
I don't know. That's what your lunch.
Well, let's just open it up and find out.
I think your lunch.
Let's find
I
out
could put
what's in that thing.
I do need
What
a
you
big bag
got
for
in
it.
that
What's it
bag?
got?
What you got in that bag? What you got in that? So I have my
Picture of me and Bo
picture
Jackson.
of me and the team here. That's Bo.
Make sure
Jackson.
the camera can see that. You wanna?
That's Bo Jackson right there.
All we can see is your finger.
That's Bo Jackson in the middle. I'm on the far side.
Who signed it?
That would be Bo Jackson.
Huh.
And this is me being larger than everybody else on the picture as normal. But then I got my Eddie George souvenir cup.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I come bearing some gifts. So I have some Old Smoky Tennessee Mango Habanero whiskey.
Whoa.
That sounds
Okay.
interesting.
And then I have some
And it's cold. How about that?
Old Smoky Blackberry Moonshine.
That sounds pretty good,
I think
too.
that might be up next. Find out what that's about.
Ooh, that's cold, too. They're both.
They were right in my refrigerator, saving them up for y'all.
Man,
Wow.
that is awesome. So what was your favorite moment with Bo?
I got to ask him some cool questions. He gave us a hard time, when we were hitting bad shots, but he also corrected us. Like he helped me swing better. My favorite moment was he looks at me, he goes, "Bigg Vinny, come here." I'm like, "What's up, man?" He goes, "Who did your damn ankle surgery?" And I was like, it was a guy from the Bone and Joint Clinic. He didn't do it right. He's like, "That thing looks like it's about to fold over any second now." He goes, "You got to go." And I'm just saying, he literally was like, "I'm going to connect you with the doctor that did my surgeries because he's amazing." However, the doctor that did my surgery is a top-notch doctor. I've talked to him about the situation. He said, "Look, he goes, the recovery time for what if we had done the whole thing at once was a year plus. You would not have been able to get out and do any of the shows or do anything this year." He's like, "Because your entire foot would be healing. And when you have that much healing, it takes longer to heal." He's like, "So my hopes were that, what we did do was going to correct it enough that you wouldn't need the rest of the surgery." He's like, "But you are going to need it." And so they are going to get me in so that I get the rest of my surgery done before I have to pay deductible again and out of pocket of $17,500
Yeehaw.
that I don't want to have to pay again because I already pay $1,700 a month on my insurance. So if you add that up, $1,700 a month plus $17,500, you get into that $30,000 range of what had to be paid out, which just so happens to be about what the surgery cost. It was actually like $42,000, so it saved me some money.
So Bo knew what he was looking at.
Oh, Bo knew. Bo knows ankles, apparently.
Now Bo knows Vinny.
Now he will never forget me. He may never think about me ever again until the situation comes up where he has nightmares.
That boy reminds me of this big old boy I played golf with.
I just figured with the love connection that was made, Bo would be our guest today.
I asked immediately, I was like, "Dude, so what you're saying is that I get to meet Bo Jackson now?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "What?"
Well, he was very clear.
mean?
Let me tell you how clear he was. The other guy that was on our team, and if I don't get his name right before the end of this episode, I'm gonna kick myself. I
He
will
was
find
just
it. in
the
a
other
minute.
guy.
No, but he's an awesome guy. He's a really good dude, and I want to make
Every
sure we get his name.
relationship, there's the other guy.
The other guy. Anyways, here's what I'm saying. That guy went to Auburn as well, and I think he played golf at Auburn or something like that.
He was the ringer.
Oh yeah, he was good. So he's in there talking to him. He's like, "Hey, Bo, me and some friends are going to be coming up to Chicago. You want to grab a round of golf when we get up there?" And Bo looks at us, he goes, "Man, this guy's got balls of steel." He's like, "You think I got time to play golf with you?" He's like, "I didn't even have time to come here today." But he goes, "I just came because I want to support the charity." He goes, "I ain't got time to golf with you." He goes, "I turned down Drake last week. Drake wanted me to come ride on his, apparently Drake has taken like a 747, like the typical airline, and turned it into a big party plane." He's like, "Drake was asking me to come party on the plane with him this past week. I had to tell him no." He goes, "So what makes you think I'm going to be able to go with you?" He goes, "Well, I mean, it was just an ask." He goes, "But if you don't ask, you never know." He goes, "I like that." He goes, "We might play golf one day." I thought it was cool. But he was very clear that he is a very busy man. And I asked him, I said, "What does your day look like?" He goes, "Man," he goes, "if I ain't raising money for charity," he goes, "I'm somewhere, shooting a TV commercial, or I'm on a panel, doing something for a college or this, that." He goes, I don't like to sit still. He goes, "I like to go." He goes, "I like to be doing stuff." I was like, "Yeah, I've seen you run," And so anyway, super nice guy overall. I think after we got that shell cracked, me and Bo Jackson are buddies now. Bo, if you're listening, love you, buddy.
I like it. I guess I don't.
He's not listening.
He definitely is listening.
Yeah.
He's definitely not
I'm
listening.
going to send it to him. I got him on Instagram now. I'm going to start sending him everything.
I guess I don't watch enough TV. He's still doing commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not about TV. When's the last commercial you watched? Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no,
Super Bowl.
Those are the commercials.
Yeah.
I watch.
He's got a commercial out where he like runs through somebody. He's had several Super Bowl commercials, that's for sure.
That's probably Marshawn Lynch.
Madden, he was a big part of
face.
Madden this past year.
Huh?
Of the Madden video game. He was a big
Okay.
part of it this past year.
You don't play video games.
I used to. I used to love playing Madden, and now I just don't got time. I mean, honestly, at my house, it's like we get up. Normally, my wife gets up about 4:30, and I have every intention of sleeping until 6:30 or 7. And then about 5:30, my daughter comes blasting in. Dad, time to get up. Let's go to this. So on 3 mornings a week, I get up at 4:30 because I go train Jamie whenever he's in town, but he's been gone out of town, so I'm going to get a little extra sleep. Or I thought I was going to get extra sleep. But my daughter, she's an early riser, you know. And then my son, now he'll sleep till 9, 10 o'clock. You know, you just never know. He's, you know, but he won't go to bed till 12. So anyways, yeah, there's no time for video games. We get up, start working on emails, phone calls, you know, hang out with the kids, get them breakfast made while my wife's out there training people in the garage. Go in there, you know, get them stuff started. And I start doing emails and answering phone calls and advertising shows and getting us more shows and just working on
Speaking
stuff.
of shows, how does it work when you book a show?
Yeah.
That you're going to play.
Right.
Jared's not going to play it.
Makes me very sad.
But then the flyer comes out and Jared's on it.
Yeah, I just got the flyer, and I was like, I'm on that flyer. He told me I wasn't playing that show. Something must have changed.
Well,
That Tyler Farr show, originally I wasn't playing it, and now I'm on the flyer.
no, you were always playing it.
No, we weren't. You said we might not be playing that because I
Well,
asked.
that's
and-
true. That's true. We had the whole side stage there. We're running the entire stage.
Oh, that's
So I
that.
just assumed that we're going to, that's that same
Oh.
show. So I just assumed we're going to play at some point, but I didn't put myself on the flyer.
That was Vinny's real plan when we bought a stage.
to get
He was
Jared
like,
playing
well,
extra shows.
I'm just going to put Jared on every show.
No, I thought you were talking about the Utah show because there's a show right now that they want us both, but they don't have the budget for us both.
So I
we're-
had to give him you.
I know he gave them me, but there's a chance that I may be going.
But we're not discussing that with him because we figure that if for some reason you're not available because you're on TV,
Yeah.
then it'll be like, well, you either get me or nothing.
Well, you're going to get you. We're going to have a contract signed. But I'm just saying there's a chance that I may be on a new TV show. It's not confirmed yet. Keep your fingers crossed.
Oh.
It's going to be a
Fingers
big.
crossed?
It's going to be a big deal. But you know, you never can tell. You know, obviously we've been through this process before. You know, they narrow it down, and they have to look at it and see if you make sense for the cast that they're trying to put on this individual show for this season. And
You know, do
everything
they
else.
already have a 300-pound rapping, breakdancing hillbilly?
That
Do
can
they
still
already
do
have one?
that can do the worm
Pretty-
and
pretty
the
good-
splits.
Pretty good chance I can do the worm again now. My ankle's healed enough that I can actually jump into that. I can't
So-
box jump. I tried.
Friday night, you gonna do the worm?
This is a Friday night. Actually, I'm not going
He's
to be there
missing
Friday.
night.
The hell?
I want to
Yeah.
go help set everything up, but I can't.
You know
be there.
why? Because I didn't book our stage. Then I would have gotten him. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, theoretically, they're all our stages.
No, he's going to be doing
Shiners.
the Shiners show
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Taking
they
over.
they asked me to, at first I was only supposed to do Saturday.
I don't
Um,
think the people know about that. I don't think you've talked
Shiners?
about it. We've talked about it
Yeah.
briefly, but
Let's fill
so-
everybody in.
so. It's Nashville. Chuck Wicks and his partners in the Woolworth Theater have created Nashville's very first, I guess you'd call it variety show. Basically, it's like a Broadway type Cirque du Soleil type show, and it's a smaller room than Cirque du Soleil, but it's got an actual script, and they have me playing Mason Shiner, who is kind of the leader of the whole deal. I kind of keep the show going, but certain things that I say and do in the script leads to the next act coming up and doing their
Right.
big part, and it's really cool because I took my wife to go see this for Valentine's Day this past February. And it was cool because I hit up Chuck and I was like, hey, man, come to the show tonight. Can't wait to see it. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll leave you some tickets, at the front. Da, da, da. I was like, I don't need tickets. I already bought tickets. I said, man, I said, I'm coming to support what you're doing. Plus, it just looks like a cool show. And he was like, man, he goes, it really means a lot to me that you went and bought the tickets and didn't ask me for them. He goes, and I will always give my friends tickets. He goes, but, we're trying to build something here.
That's right.
And there's only so many seats in this theater. I think they only got like 300 or so, 350. So it's you're playing a tight budget every night. You got 10, 12 performers in there and staff and everything else that's working. So you know, he goes, it means a lot to me that you actually bought the tickets. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I always try to support the people I'm going to, you know, see their stuff. And I said, I'm proud of you for creating this. Now, I had no clue if it was going to be any good or not. So the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, man, is this thing going to be any good? You know, it's like, it's Nashville, you know, it's supposed to be music, but it's not music. And so I get there and I'm blown away by this show. Like, it's so fun. I had the best time. It's probably the best date that me and my wife have been on in a long time. We had some good food downstairs in the Wolf Den or whatever they call that thing, the Wolf and Sheep or what is that?
It's a dope little spot.
It's a cool spot.
Yeah,
Down
it
there.
is. Yeah.
We went down there. We had some
very,
food.
very Vegas, LA.
They kept that in mind. And then we went upstairs and we sat down for the show. And literally from second one to the very end of it, we laughed. We had a good time. We were amazed by the amazing talent that was on stage. It was just amazing. You know, it was just a awesome piece of artwork. And I, you know, saw him for a second, gave him a hug, told him great job. Later on, I was sitting at the house and, you know, I was like, man, I just wanted you to know, like, that's the best date me and my wife have been on in a long time. We had so much fun. Man, you really put something special together there. And the next message I get back is, oh my God, dude, I don't know why I never thought of this before. Would you want to be my understudy? And my immediate response was, well, we look just alike. You know? Have you seen Chuck Wicks? He looks like he walked out of GQ mag. Good looking dude, you know. Not that I'm not good looking. I'm just slightly larger than a GQ magazine guy. And so I literally was like,
You
dude,
fill the page.
I can fill the whole page.
Whole book.
Maybe even the whole centerfold. You know what I'm saying? Oh, anyway. He asked me that. And I was just super excited because I'm like, dude, I want to say yes, but I've never done live stage acting before. He goes, oh, of course you have. I'm like, no, bro, I hadn't. He goes, dude, you've been hosting stuff. You've been on stage your entire life. As long as I've known you. He goes, Vinny, meeting you is like you're on a stage. He's like, you never turn off. I was like, that's a good point because I'm just always that way. He goes, yeah. He goes, so just do that on stage, but follow this script. And I was like, okay. And so I started studying and studying. I mean, I studied that thing every day. Every time I'm in the car, I'd recorded, you know, I went back and saw it again. I recorded the first whole scene because that's the biggest part that my role's in. And I recorded this whole thing. It's like 10 minutes of dialogue. And then there's like another 5 or 6 minute section of dialogue. And I have to have these lines memorized because everything I say cues the person for the next thing they got to do. So anyway, I go through and I study it and I get down off his little mannerisms and all that. And then I add some of my Bigg Vinny elements into it because the way he plays the character is a little more dry and kind of stoic, you know, whereas the way I play the character is a little more, hey guys, all shucks, country boy, you know.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to learn from him, to see that, and then go out there and do it. And the first night I get out there on the stage and I start into my lines and everything's going great. I got the lines down and my microphone pack drops from the top of my overalls. It was hooked on my back inside my overalls and falls all the way down to my lower back. So I'm like, okay, well, it's resting on my ass right now. So there's a good chance that it stay there. I got a little mini dump truck back there. I ain't no Laney Wilson, but it's looking good. So anyways, next thing you know, I take a step forward and it drops all the way down into my pants leg, my overall leg, and it's hanging all the way down there. Now there's no way for me to get to it while I'm on stage. So it's pulling my microphone off the back of my head. Luckily they taped it on because if they hadn't taped it on, it would have fell right off. And I'm sitting there talking like this. I'm like, yeah, that's all this, you know, I'm trying to say my lines and it's messing me up. So then all of a sudden it gets to this part where I get to get off stage because there's this thing called the fight night. And I got to get off the stage and I got to do this announcement. I was like, all right, welcome to the Shiners Family Reunion Fight Night in this corner, you know. So I have to do all that kind of stuff. And then as soon as I get done with that, there's a break while the aerial artists do their things up in the air, which is really cool. And then I go over there and they have to reach their hands all the way down back in the back of my overalls, all the way down in and grab this microphone and pull it back up. And then, of course, we just put it in my back pocket, which is what we should have done in the first place, which I said that, but nobody listened to me. Anyways, we put that thing in there. We finish up the show and everything goes really well. And there was, you know, a couple snafus, you know, in the beginning because of that, but the rest of the night went great. Well, then the next night, it went really awesome. But the first night, my old buddy, Jay Red, came out there to support me, and he got to see me in the very first time I ever did it. So it meant a lot to me to have him there.
Yeah.
Which just felt like every other time I'd seen him perform. It was just Vinny, you know? And,
Agreed.
yeah.
And
but
I did
tell you,
pull him
like,
out.
when
I did pull his wife on stage out of the crowd.
Yeah, when we came
Then
in,
she froze.
we got set. It was like third row to the left there. And then they came down and they grabbed us and said, hey, we have a couple seats up here that you guys can have. And it was on the first row. And Jen was like, oh, this is great. And I was like, this is a horrible idea. You don't want to sit first row at a show like this, especially not when it's your boy on stage. But you know what's going to happen. I mean, and I got out easy. You know, he made fun of me a little bit, but my wife, poor wife, he put her on stage. You saw the video.
I did not select her to come on stage. The girl selected her, probably because she was looking hot that night. She had the girls out.
Every night.
She always looks hot. But she had the girls out. So, you know, they're trying to get people on stage. It's going to make people watch the stage. So they bring her up there. And, of course, they set her in seat 1, you know, which means you're going to have to do all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And so she had to come up to the barrel, and they do this game show thing where I got to interview them and all this. And I had to make her make a sound. The thing I have to do is I have to say, when in the bedroom, what's the most commonly made animal sound? And then she's got to tell me what the most commonly made one is, and then we make her make the sound. And she said,
well, no, you started with name an animal.
That's what I
right?
said.
Yeah, and she named the animal.
Right.
And
then we
said
said
a
make the
lion,
sound.
And
No,
you
she
were
said
like,
tiger.
A tiger.
Yeah.
And you asked what kind of tiger.
Yeah.
And she pointed at me.
Yeah.
She
I was
said,
like, oh, hey,
that
tiger.
guy.
That was quick. That was
But
quick.
then, and that was cool. But
Yeah.
then he asked her to make a noise that a tiger would make. And what did she do?
She goes, meow. She's, meow. And I said, oh, it's a pussy tiger. And the crowd erupted. It was great. And I looked over at him. I said, you don't look like a pussy tiger, but here we go. And I said, show me the answer on the board. Of course, it gives the big X and all that kind of stuff. And I said, apparently, I said, what did I say? I can't remember what I said to you, but it was something really funny. The crowd loved it. It went awesome. And then went to the other person, and we did another deal. But it was just really good. It went really well, and
Yeah,
it was cool. So now I did my 3 nights there, and of course, you don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they loved it, maybe they hated it, but they told me they loved it. So the confirmation that they loved it is that then they called me back and asked me to do more dates. And so when he called me, it was just for this coming Saturday, which will be after this episode airs. But it called me for Saturday. And then a couple nights ago, he texted me and said, "Hey, man, is there any way you could do Friday night too?" He goes, I'd just love to take the weekend off and spend it with my family and stuff like that. I was like, dude, I happen to be in town this weekend. So yeah, sure. I'd love to do it. And then they sent me 3 more dates in October as well.
So I went as well and loved it. I think we've talked about that. I cried. But I can't recall.
It's a very sad show.
Then we cried.
I know
together.
it's definitely a more mature show.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
But
adult.
with that said, is it 21 up or is it 18 up or is there a restriction?
They were checking IDs at the door, but I don't know.
I can't remember if it's either 18 or 21. I can't remember. I mean, it might be 21 because I think there's the towel scene, which
just in case the towel falls.
well, they have covers on. They
The
have
big covers or small covers.
Well, I mean, the one's pretty big. No, they have covers on, so if it was to fall, you wouldn't see nothing but a hanging bag.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole. Because I was thinking,
Yep.
our kids
Let's just
love
look it
both
up.
of you,
I can tell
right?
you right now.
So I was just thinking Addie being 15 would probably enjoy it, but I forgot about
It's an interesting point. I mean, like I was thinking about my kids going, but I've got 4 out of my 6 are 21. So it's not that big a deal. And we've never really sugarcoated anything in our house.
Yeah.
We feel like you teach them manners. But
I have ate at
don't.
your house before, and I've tasted sugar-coated stuff. So that's a lie.
That was watermelon. Those are natural sugars.
It's true.
But
But
I ate an entire watermelon this weekend.
yeah. Tickets on sale now. Let's go see tickets.
Because I feel like just because our girls do love you both so much, I think that'd be a pretty cool thing
I'm
to
not
do.
in it.
Well, no, but he is.
18
They'll
and
see
over.
you Friday
18 and
night.
over.
18 and over.
ShinersNashville.com. Shiners Nashville. Shiners with an S.
I
Nashville.
mean, 18 over makes sense, but I think my 15-year-old, honestly, I think both my kids would
Well,
do
you're gonna
fine.
have to
with
get
that.
a fake ID.
there's no nudity and stuff like that, but there is sexual innuendos and just blatant sexual comments. So they're
Yeah,
not
I
just
think social
innuendo.
media takes care of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're or any
dude.
movie.
Isn't that weird that so we still have these rules on kids about what they can see, but then they have social media
Yeah.
where they can see anything.
You know what? That makes me think of what this episode is about, and what I want to kind of.
I'm pretty sure we're out of time.
No, we got some time left. No, I think
this entire episode was just the intro to
I
the
think
next
our
episode.
clock keeper left us knowing we were going to go over.
Yeah, but no, I thought about what it is. It's about life experiences and the way you experience life. Because if I would have lived the life that I was born into, I would probably be dead by now. If I was,
I mean, you would definitely be dead.
yes, I would be
I mean,
dead.
because the reality is that had it not been for Biggest Loser,
I'd be dead.
you should be dead. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super valid. I don't know that it applies to everyone.
No, but no, it doesn't apply to everyone. That's the point I'm getting to is life experiences. When y'all asked me about vacations a couple episodes ago, and what would be your ideal vacation, I'm like, man, I don't know, but I know what it is now. It's like I enjoy experiences. Like it was really cool for me, like to have an experience, a once in a lifetime chance to go play golf with one of my childhood heroes. You know, that it was a vacation to me.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I'll doing things like that like you may never get to a chance to experience again. That's a vacation to me. That gives me fuel and energy to want to go do more stuff. Getting the record deal when I was 22 and opening for ZZ Top and opening obviously for Toby for 3 years. Like us last year going to Trail Hero and getting to go ride with those veterans. That's an experience. It's not a famous person, but it's like we were out there with these veterans who, they're missing legs and they got all this stuff and they got all these war stories. And one of them had just the most horrific story I can think of. We're out there spending the day with them and, getting to hear about these things. But while we're riding up inside sand dunes and rock formations and all this other stuff, like, those experiences to me, they create an awesome living experience. And so whenever I die, it's like, they say you got your dash and you got to do everything you can do with your dash. It's like at the end of my dash, I'm gonna be like, dude, that guy lived 100 lifetimes in one life,
So, that's super interesting because when we brought up the vacation thing and I talked about mine, it's definitely still experiences. The only difference is that, and I hope this doesn't sound like I'm bragging, I've just been blessed. My life has been full of so many experiences.
No, me too.
That when I go on vacation, I'm typically looking for that too. The experience doesn't have to be something drastic.
No.
It could be from getting scared as shit from hearing your first howler monkey in the middle of the night to literally just eating something I can eat something that I don't even like.
Yeah.
That I go, that wasn't very good. If it's different and unique and it's part of that culture and I haven't experienced that.
Monkey brains, howler monkey brains. It was great.
Right. But
fried
it's
monkey brains. What's that from? Indiana Jones. Sorry, go ahead. It's a delicacy. Fried monkey brains.
Anyway.
No.
Everything is about experience.
Yeah.
And, as my children age, as me and my wife age, we start looking for different experiences. Like I made the remark to her the other day. I was like, she's like, what do you want to do? And sometimes we'll just ask each other random questions. Like, what's really on your heart right now? I was like, what do I want to do? I was like, man, I really want to, I want to do a book tour once a year.
Yeah.
Just me and you in the Sprinter. And I just want to go to libraries and read my book and play some songs for some kids.
Yeah.
And just travel up and down the coast or something for a week or two.
You know what's so cool about that?
Like,
with my book,
my dog.
With my book already, I've gotten to do some of that reading the book in person and
So do you read better than you spell or sound out words out of curiosity?
I sing because remember my book is a song.
Your book is a song.
So I get to sing it. It's like,
so it's like Mel Tillis. Like
yeah, like Mel Tillis, he got the stutter,
but
whenever I sing it, I'm good to go.
So what he's saying is it's memorized.
No, yes. No, but I'm really good at speaking.
Sometimes he gets ahead of himself.
I'm really good
He's
at
singing
talking.
on the third page
I can
and he was on
talk.
the
I can
fourth.
talk a lot. But no, it's been cool because most of the time when we go into schools, we're speaking on heavy subjects. You know what I mean? We're talking about life choices and where it can end you up at and the things we did wrong and the things we did right and how we corrected the things we did wrong. And it's a lot, and I think there's kids in there that you can see they're definitely like they've not had the kind of experience that we had and they're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm sorry that you went through that. And it means nothing to them. But then there's that kid sitting in the row, 2 or 3 rows back. Last one we was at, the girl just starts bawling, We get done, we go talk to her and she tells us everything she's going through. And it was just a lot of really rough stuff. But in this book tour thing, it's like you're going in with just this positive thing. You're just going in and you're reading your book and you're singing for the kids and you're hanging out with them. And it's a beautiful experience in a different way. What we're doing is needed and necessary. But for your heart, when you get to go in and bring them that joy and then you just leave, it's like, bam, here's some joy. Now we're gone. It's a cool experience. I enjoyed the couple times already that I've done it. And I know Jared's going to love it too, just because, the kids always have some really cool questions for him because of the tattoos, because of the stuff. They always got a lot of cool questions for him, but it's going to be cool. Plus I'm in the book. So I get to go
awesome.
too with you and your wife and your dog.
The singing the book, bringing them joy, that without a shadow of a doubt brings them joy.
Absolutely.
but I don't think we could say it changes a life, right? It changes,
Changes
a day.
Yeah.
But what y'all do for the nonprofit where you go into these schools and it gets deep, that changes a life.
Yeah. It has the
I
ability
don't know.
to.
I mean, I look at it from a lot of different levels because when I look over my life, like Vinny was just saying, if I had lived where I was born into, I'm a pretty slow learn. And so when I think about it, there are people from, being 4 and 5 years old up until the present that like this person said this, and then someone else that you looked up to said it, and then someone else looked like you had to keep going in. So a lot of times when Vinny and I go into schools, I also give credit to the fact of like, I don't know who said what I just said before that made this lock in this time. Or maybe I'm the second or third person in this process and someone else is going to say it. Like I was talking to our pastor about it, and he was talking about Billy Graham. He's like, Billy Graham is given so much credit. But what I always wonder is who reached Billy Graham?
Yeah.
Like that guy could have only reached one person, and that one person went on to become Billy
Absolutely.
Graham.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect, I mean, and I think that's going to happen. I think that you've already seen it. I've seen it happen even with, what was it? The Andrew Whitworth, the guy that played tackle for the Rams. He was out there and he went and spoke at this high school, and he talked to the football kids there and told them about choices and all this other stuff. Well, his final year, one of the kids he spoke to was playing in the Super Bowl on the offensive line, and it was one of the kids that he coached or that he went to and spoke that day. And the guy got to come up to him and goes, "Hey, I just want you to know the reason I stayed playing football and got to come here and play in the Super Bowl tonight is because I saw you speak at our school one time, a long time ago, or 5-6 years ago, whatever." He goes, and it gave me the courage to know that, hey, even though I'm in this big frame and this big body, I can become something worth doing this, because I had this terrible life, and you came in there and you spoke to us and you told us about some of the things you went through. He goes, and I was able to see that path and follow it. And how much that's got to mean to a guy like that. It's like, hey, because you took the time, and time is our most valuable, asset, most valuable commodity or form of payment you can have. You took the time with that one kid, that one day you spoke, and it ended up him being in the NFL, changing his family tree, changing where he's going to go in life and everything else because you took that time. And I think that's the way we look at it is, regardless if we change one person's day or we change their life or, whatever, if we can just give them a little bit of encouragement that, hey, there's other choices, know.
But it's also, and I appreciate you all the kind words, Jeff. You bring up the stuff that Vinny and I do a lot, and I'll just throw something at you. I mean, the first time we ever mentioned to you what we were doing, you gladly were on board.
Yeah.
And so that's also something else that I think that is very rare these days, of like someone just putting their money where their mouth is and going, hey, I support what you're doing. I get this. I love this, and moving on. And so I don't think that people quite understand just how much value there is in that, because a lot of times the guys in your position are going, well, you guys are doing all this stuff, and we can't do it without that help. The reality is that, I mean, man, before I met Vinny, and Vinny was funding things through different concerts and different people, and he introduced me to one of the people that helped us fund it, what we were doing. But it was so much of it was us coming out of pocket, just our own hearts,
to get started.
And still to this day. But also people like you make it easier to, like, it doesn't, when everyone else is putting their money in as well, then it makes it a little easier on you, to be able to afford to do the things that you do, as well as just have a good heart about it. Because I watch so many people with great ideas, wonderful things for this world, and they just get burnt out by asking people for money and trying to figure out how to fund things. They just get tired and then they're done with it.
Yep.
Well, and what makes it tough too is, people are like, well, why are you getting paid? And we don't, we really book ourselves on a show so that we can go do that part for free. But there has been times along the way that we did have to take payment in order to go do 2 weeks worth of work, and, it's explaining that to people. Is like, well, we took payment because we were gone from our family for 2 weeks and we were on the road and we were giving up that time that we could have been doing our personal businesses with. So it's like, we have to make something. Now, we're not making near what we would make if we were out there playing 7-8 shows this week. But we have to make something.
Or just back home working anywhere.
Yeah, or just back home doing anything. But, it's like explaining that to people, and it's always tough for me because I'm like, well, I was like, I don't want to take a dime from the charity ever, but if I'm going to be gone for 14 days from my wife and my kids and from my businesses and all the things I do, there has to be something there. And the Bible talks about it, a shepherd is worth his flock, so, a lot of people believe that Jesus was this poor guy that was running around with these, 12 disciples and he was just this poor guy, but it's like he wasn't. He had a treasurer. I mean, there was a reason that he had to make money. There had to be financial, stuff there just to support the mission and support what they were doing. Yeah. And, that's why I always feel bad when people think that, a preacher shouldn't get paid. My dad was one of those guys that he didn't take any money from the church, and he had 200 and something people in the congregation. He was on the phone answering people's problems, praying with people, working with people all the time. And that took a lot of time away from us, because my dad didn't take any money from the church. He worked at an auto body repair shop every single day of his life so that he could pay the bills, so that he could do all that, so that he could still be the pastor of this church. And when we grew up, it ain't like now where you show up on Sunday morning and that's it. Yeah. It was Wednesday night, Thursday night Bible study, Friday night there's bound to be something going on, Sunday.
What's
Sunday
interesting
morning,
about
night.
The way that you look at that, way you were talking about that, is that, after Vinny and I having the nonprofit for as long as we had, one of the things that I think we learned the most, that I would love for people to hear this and understand about any of the other nonprofits around them. And I'm not asking you to support us, just support those nonprofits and think about this. So if you have a business, do you go out and hire the cheapest person you can to run that business for you? Does that seem like
some people do? Those
model?
businesses are closed.
Right, I get that, but
they close quick.
Does that seem like the business model that you need to grow? No, you got to find the brightest and the best, and you got to figure out a pay that's going to work with you and pay them enough to get some of the best people out there. The nonprofit world, if you bring in people that you're only going to pay $40,000 and you want them to run that nonprofit,
be there day in, day out.
Day in, day out. First of all, what level of business
1992, that would have been a good deal.
But
92.
What kind of level of a business manager are you getting? The pool of people that want to do that job is already small. And the pool of people that are willing to make less money than what they could make somewhere else is much, much smaller. Yeah. So if you theoretically, think about, if you're paying someone more as a president or a vice president of a nonprofit, people get caught up in we paid them $150,000. But what's not being taken into account is how much money is being saved and how that company is being ran to create more and more money.
Right.
Because if we also look at it and go, well, I'm only willing to pay $20,000 to this person, how good do you think that person might be with money? I mean, just the thought there of then we back up to, well, if you're only getting paid $20,000 and you're not that good at managing money necessarily, and you bring in $1, how much of that dollar actually goes toward what you're doing, opposed to how much of that guy that's making $150,000 figure out to go, well, if we save here and here, and figured out how to get that $100 down to only 20 cents went out. Yeah. Of that dollar, 80 cents went, toward. And I'm not saying pay 150, 180. I'm not telling you what to do, but just rethinking this model, because it makes no sense that we look at business the way we do and go, this is how you run a great business. And then we go and look to nonprofits and we go, no, as little as possible. Spend as little as possible. Yeah. Because you spend as little as possible, you're going to do as little as possible, or you're going to do it for a very short time and then it's not going to work.
I had this same conversation. I won't say the name of the business, but there was a business here and they wanted me to come in and take a look at a couple things, and I did. And I go in there and I said, look, I looked at your social media pages and they're not good. I said, there's a picture every 2 months and there's nothing going on it. It's like you got pictures from last October when you did your thing here, and it's April now or May or whatever it was. I was like, and
that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, there's been no action on there. But, when you're a business that you depend on people seeing what goes on at your business, because, people come there for an experience, you got to let people know that the experience exists. So I said to him, look, I got a girl that I'm working with, and she's $500 a month, but she's going to help create your post. She's going to schedule out your post, get you, at least something going out every day on your story, this and that. But you do got to send her content. You got to send her pictures. You got to send her, what's going on. Like, she has to have the knowledge and she has to have the content to put up, but she'll post it for you. She'll make sure it's worded the right way and do all these things. She's $500 a month, which is nothing.
Nothing.
He goes, $500 a month? That's $6,000 a year. I'm like,
sounded less then.
Yeah.
What's the ROI on that $6,000?
Well, that's what I said. I said, yeah, but right now you're not putting any money towards advertising your business, but then you want it to be full. And the reason it's not full is because you're not advertising your business. Well, I did some stuff in the paper. I'm like, who's reading the paper?
I didn't know they still exist.
And so
I assume they did, but I haven't seen
So, I
one.
had to talk with him, and I just told him, I was like, man, I said, and the place has the ability. This place could be making $1 million+ a year. And I just told him, I was like, man, I said, you have to be willing to invest in the advertising of your business and the
Spend
social
money to make
media
money.
on the stuff that's going on. And it's hard. I get it, that it's hard when you're not making a megaton of money yet. But it's like, if you ever want to get to that point, you're going to have to, at some point, do something that, what you're doing ain't working. So you're going to have to do something different. And same thing, even like with, right now I'm spending $2,000 a month on a person to come in, and you can see how much better my social media looks now. They come in and say, hey, we got to fix this and this. You're good at putting up content. You're good at posting stuff. But, when you come here, it doesn't look like it's a page of an artist that's been successful, and you've had a lot of success. So they go in, they make my graphics look better. They add to the stuff. They make my bio. They go in, do all my keywords and change all the stuff in the back so that, make sure that I'm getting the max amount of potential to go out there. And my page has grown probably 500-600 people. And that's my Instagram, not from my TikTok post of Jared telling good relationship advice.
Can we talk about Jared's relationship advice real quick?
I can. I think you need to write a book,
that's
bro.
a whole other episode in itself. Have you read those comments?
I feel like Jared's he's going to get an invite for like Dr. Phil or Oprah or some shit soon.
I feel like it would have to translate. You know what's cracking me up about it is like as much as those two videos are getting
Maybe that
viewed,
Andrew Tate guy, actually.
my page isn't growing, which is really weird. Like I'm commenting back to these people, but it's not translating like, oh, that's that guy that we were just complimenting. Oh, that's him talking to me right now.
Did you post it on your personal TikTok? Nope.
No, but I don't post anything on my personal TikTok.
Well, you should start.
So
I posted on the podcast.
What's Jen's
TikTok.
take
That's
on?
That's true.
What's Jen's take on this one clip's success? Is she like, that's my man?
No, I think
Or
she's used to
is
me
it-
having success in small doses.
A little bit here, a little bit there. It's been a while. I'll give you another piece.
Sprinkle.
What's funny to me is we put out this awesome comment, and it's something that I think is really great advice. And I've been trying to implement that just into my relationship even more. And I was already, I'm a pretty good husband. I'm a lovey guy. I'm very thoughtful. I'm naturally.
You do some dishes and some laundry.
I thought that was regular.
I've bought flowers 2 times since that comment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't buy myself flowers. See, it's girls like her that make everybody not want to buy flowers anymore. I need to open a flower shop. No, but what I'm saying is, what had happened was, when you start reading the comments, there's like all these women. Oh my gosh, this is the best. This is exactly what I need. I need my guy to see this. And we're like, send it to him. We need you to tell us. We need you to tell us. It doesn't, like, a lot of times we think we're doing everything that we can to give you the best thing. But then all of a sudden, you'll have some guy come on there. This is ridiculous. If you start doing this, she's going to take advantage of it. And then the next thing you know, blah, blah.
You're going to be broke.
Did you see the one that
You're gonna be broke.
I was like, you're single, aren't you?
There was only one that pissed me off because that guy kind of attacked my wife from the standpoint it was like, this is just making her weak. Women should learn how to communicate better. This is the problem. He's like, and you're giving in to her weakness.
Oh, yeah, you told him
and
you
this
see-
and that. I
yeah, I
was
saw
like,
that
dude, you don't know
comment.
my freaking wife.
Yeah.
You don't know how strong she is. You don't know all this shit. And then the one of them that cracked me up was she was like, typical alpha behavior. What? Well, first of all, it was technically alpha behavior.
Yes.
Because it was taking control and going, hey, this is what needs to be done. But it was all in love for my wife. It wasn't a bad
But I
thing.
went and read her comment after your comment.
Oh,
And
I
she's,
did.
yeah, and she did say, she goes, yes, alpha is good.
Oh,
So-
that was a different lady.
Oh, it was a different one.
That was a
Oh,
different
Okay,
lady.
I was going to say, because I was
Yeah,
reading
because
that one.
I brought up the fact it was like my wife is a very alpha person as well.
Yeah.
You're relating alpha to male, and it's not.
Yeah.
This is just a personality. It's a leadership characteristic.
Absolutely.
And I was like, my wife is very alpha. She's not going to be with someone who's not alpha.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
We got a bunch of Omegas coming in there trying to ruin our alpha moments.
Dude,
but
it
was
just
just
was like, you're making her weaker. It's like,
Yeah, I know, I'm
what?
like-
So
I'm like,
you clearly aren't dating anyone.
somebody call her. His wife is being held beyond with. She shouldn't be being held beyond her
You
will.
see the one that also crept because it goes across the board. You know, most of the women are like, "Hey, this is a great
awesome,
thing."
yeah.
You know, and then you've got the one that's like, "Oh, he's the toxic masculinity again, just doing whatever he wants." Because that's what I want. Like not talking to his wife and just booking a massage. That's horrible, right?
Forget about
What
the
a
communication.
horrible
Well,
thing.
Just ignore her and buy her a massage.
Right. But then the lady commented, and another lady agreed with her that said, "This is horrible. Your wife should not be working at all."
Yeah.
And she was like,
No, it was a guy-
you should be paying all the bills and this and
yeah,
that.
the girl said, she goes, how about you step it up and make it where your wife doesn't have to work at all? That would be nice. And then a guy comes in and like, yeah, that's how you really make sure she's taken care of. And I was like, and so I comment on that when I said, or our wives have dreams and goals and they're out there chasing because they don't want to just sit at the house all the time. They want to go do stuff. And it's like me to be like, you're not allowed to do anything. Stay in the house, make my breakfast, make my dinner, clean the beds, make sure you do everything right. And you better have it done before I get home from work. Pow, slap her on the butt and send her on the way. You know?
I like the last part.
Gotta have
Yeah,
slap on
the last
butt.
part. The last part's happening. I'm gonna put get a little what's it called? Baking powder on my hand for a little flour. Pow, pop it on there. I can see my handprint later. Anyways, back to the story. What was funny is it was like these people that come in and they say these things to you, and I'm like, did y'all not see the 600 women that commented and said yes? This is exactly what I want. And it's even these women saying, that's what you think she wants. She doesn't want that. She has too much on her plate already. She has other stuff to do, and
She doesn't have time for that massage.
You're just adding in another thing for her to get done in the day. So if you're going to do that, just make sure you're cleaning the house and getting the dishes done while she's gone.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there, and you guys can put this clip together and see how well it does, okay?
Yeah.
So maybe some of the ladies were right, and she didn't want a massage, because that was a normal comment, too. Like, she doesn't want a massage. How do you know she wants a massage? Well, geez, I just threw something out there.
Yeah, it said his wife, not your wife.
So I'm going to acknowledge what I actually did, okay?
Yeah.
Is I went and got a pedicure with my wife. Now, I want you to understand why I got a pedicure with my wife. Because this was a comment made several times on there. Because my wife doesn't want no communication. She doesn't want to go do things by herself or me just buy something and send her off. So what I actually did was went and had a pedicure with her because I don't like pedicures. I don't like people messing with my feet. I don't like anything about it at all. I cringe the entire time.
What about the massage part?
I don't like it either.
Not to take it back to massage.
I don't like it either. I just don't like it. She knows I don't like it. But she does very much like that I'm sitting there with her.
Right.
I'm doing something with her, having a little champagne.
I'm gonna start messing with his feet all the
talking
time
about
now.
things.
Every hotel room we stay in, messing with your feet from now on, bro.
Dude, it'll drive me nuts.
I'm gonna take pictures of them, post them on the internet, get $100 a pop. It's gonna be great.
And so that's what I actually did. We went and did that, and there was a couple other things that were just things that she knew that I don't particularly care about doing, but pretty much every time I do something for my wife, it involves me because we kind of like each other. And so whenever I made that statement before, and I mentioned this in one of the comments down there, that the three of us like our wives and our wives like us. Yeah. And so when we think about doing something for them, when we think about doing something for them, it typically does involve us in some way, because that is definitely part of how I show that I care, is by doing things I don't want to.
But you know, like I said, the ultimate thing that got me is how many women came in and were saying, well, just doing the dishes would help, or doing the laundry would help.
That was sad.
Or doing chores would help around the house. And I'm like, are you dating a 10th grader?
Right, so, let's do this. If we hit 500,000 views, we'll do a whole episode based on the comments. Let's respond to the comments.
Yeah.
I've been responding to the comments.
So let's stop.
About 11 o'clock every night, I go back on there and I'm like, who else?
Well,
it is a good time.
Yeah, I won't post, but I'll respond to comments.
We definitely need to do an episode that lets these guys know, hey, guys, naturally, you should be helping keep the house clean.
Fact.
Naturally, you should want to have a clean bathroom.
Yes.
And put away the groceries. You know, I mean, now there's certain things that I'm good at that my wife's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with trash. I don't want to deal with cleaning out. I go out there and clean out the trash can. You know, when it gets a couple weeks of being out there, you got to go clean that thing out. You know, she's not going to go do that. That's something I do. I don't like to do laundry, so she does the laundry. We have our certain things that we're good at, but we help keep the house up together because that's what you should do as a family. And when the kids are just a little bit older, They about to start cleaning the house up.
Chores.
Well, I tell you what, my kids do a better job at cleaning the house now because they're older and they need money.
Yes.
Now they have jobs and stuff, and they're like, hey, you got anything I can do? I'm like, yeah. I think they usually think they're going to go to work with us, and we're like, we just need you to go back to the house and do all the laundry.
Yeah, the stuff we can't get done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Absolutely.
that's, my whole life, because I grew up.
But that goes back to the alpha me and making my wife work so much.
You getting stuff done that you didn't. But,
it's even funnier is like I posted on there. I was like, you guys don't even know that the few people that were like, you're being an alpha male and all this crap is like, I technically work for my wife.
It's true.
It's her company.
Yeah. She's like She-Ra. She kind of looks like She-Ra. She should dress up as She-Ra
I don't
for
remember
Halloween.
She-Ra. Ooh, he's offended.
Bro, you don't remember She-Ra?
No.
He-Man's
Is that
counterpart?
He-Man?
Is that
Okay.
He-Man?
She-Ra was He-Man's counterpart, basically. I mean, she had her own show because we had He-Man, we had to have She-Ra. She was awesome. She had like a golden unicorn Pegasus thing.
Is that the reason for the He-Man and She-Ra?
Well, He-Man came first, and I think before.
I think they've changed her out for Thera, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I think that's correct.
Thera.
Here we go.
It's what's that non-binary? Anyways,
Pat.
You cis male.
It's Patra. It's actually Patra. Anybody remember Pat? Because I like how Saturday Night Live acts all like.
That makes me want to ask another question.
Well, hang on. I love how SNL acts like they're all high and mighty. Like we've never said any of these things. These are the people that had the ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah.
These are the same people that had Pat, the girl guy that you didn't know was a girl guy. Like so funny to me, like how they act like, dude, you were doing the same crap that every other comedian was doing. 20 years ago. Like, where do you get off? It's so horrible what they've done.
Well, they don't want to do it now, allegedly, but they do. They still do it. I would do it.
I mean, not really. But they are making fun of Biden now. That kind of shocked me. It took him a minute.
Did you see where Mitch froze for like a minute and a half?
I know.
The other day?
Well, didn't he have a bad fall or something a couple months ago or something? Something happened.
Yeah, but he went to the mic and he said like 3 words.
No, I saw it.
He just stared into.
Well, he's got to be 90 years old by now, right?
That's a whole nother episode there. Woo.
Yeah.
All right.
So you were saying something before I started talking about SNL.
No, it's just more talking about the movies and stuff. I've been surprised by how many of my guy friends have wanted to go see Barbie. And Jared was one of them. Be honest with you. Yeah.
I was not.
He dressed up in pink. He said Ryan Gosling was his favorite actor, which I do love some Ryan Gosling.
I didn't even know he was in it, so you already know more than me.
Well, I mean, it's on everything. It's everywhere.
I don't pay attention to things.
Anyways, all I'm saying is it definitely blew my mind of how many guy friends I have that were excited to go see Barbie.
Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I mean, like,
but John Cena's in it as a female mermaid. So
one of the kids asked my wife. She's like, "Hey, we got to go see this," and she was like, "Hey, you want to go see that?" I was like, "Nah, you go have some girl time. I'll sit at the house and watch a movie you don't want to watch."
Well, this is what I say to my wife. I was like, "Did you go with me to see Avengers Endgame?" And she said, "Yes, I did." So I said, "Well, if you want to go to Barbie, we will." And she said, "I don't want to go to Barbie." She goes, "I was not a Barbie fan. I was a Polly Pocket fan." I said, "Well, when they come out with a Polly Pocket movie, I'll go see that with you."
Well, maybe you should be the one to put that together.
Well, there's much, bro. I'm gonna have to make a Polly Pocket movie myself. I don't think they've made one yet.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Let's get that.
I got to create.
The only doings I've ever had with Barbies, I did make a Barbie birthday cake once. This is something you guys wouldn't know about me. Most of the birthday cakes that my kids have had, I made them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true. So, you're very talented at everything.
So Chloe, I think it was probably like her 7th birthday. She saw this Barbie cake and she wanted it. And I went to the store to get it, and I think they wanted like $110 for it. And I was like, "Can I see like what you guys did?" And they showed me the Barbie, and it was just a plastic thing that just stuck down in the cake. And I was like, "Well, crap! For that much money, I can just buy you a real Barbie
and stick it down in the cake, make it look like a hot tub."
Yeah, so all I did was build a cake that mounted up like a dress, stuck the Barbie in it, and then made it look like a pretty dress.
That's perfect. See,
she loved it.
You was in touch with your Barbie side. Now, I will say this: if your wife or girlfriend wants to go see Barbie, take her to go see Barbie. All I'm saying is, if you're a dude and you're my friend, and you're going to see Barbie by yourself,
invite Vinny.
Invite me to the movie. Is what I'm saying. Don't go see Barbie by yourself. Take Bigg Vinny with you. No, but I do.
We got a construction worker that Cash just said today. My son, he goes, "Hey, Chris, you should go and see Barbie." And he was like, "Excuse me?" And Chris is probably about 52. and Cash goes, no, I saw it with my girlfriend. It's really good. And he was like, who would you like me to go see Barbie with? He was like, you can go by yourself. And he was like, I've been working. This guy's like been working construction his whole life. He looks like he's been working construction all life.
Sorensen?
He was like, no. Oh. He was like, I'm pretty sure I'll get arrested if they find me sitting by myself at the Barbie movie. Oh. This is not going to go down. Okay.
Hey, it's pulling up in the white
just
van.
Just sitting over there laughing like Beavis and Butthead.
And please keep in mind, I'm not against Barbie. I love Barbie. I mean, I used to take my G.I. Joes and He-Man and Batman and Superman. I used to rip all their heads off in my sister's room. It was awesome. So I did play Barbies whenever I was a kid. Don't use that as a clip. I will break your legs. Anyways.
That's totally a clip now.
Totally.
I used to break off their heads, okay, and their legs. Anyways, all I'm saying is there was one more thing I wanted to get to today before we end this one. It's a sad day. One of our childhood heroes bit the dust today.
Yeah.
Paul Rubenstein, Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee
died this morning.
Way, from what?
Apparently he's had a 6-year battle with cancer and he didn't put it out there in the public because he felt like he always brought joy to people, and so he didn't want to put the burden on other people. But he kind of gave like a goodbye letter, and he passed away today.
Did you know he had his own Nike shoe?
I did not, but I'd love to have one.
Until today.
Are they trending now?
And they are trending.
How much are they now?
And I'll be damned if I don't want them. They're fire.
I mean, I wanted them as soon as you said it. But
yes.
Yeah. I mean, he had the cool shoes.
I'll find
anyways.
a connect, and we'll make that happen.
All I'm saying is,
Nike.
Listen, we've talked about our childhood stuff. Bo Jackson. We went into Barbie, and now we're talking about Pee Wee Herman. And
we're talking about He-Man.
We did talk about He-Man and She-Ra.
And She-Ra. She-Man. She-Ra.
And they-Ra.
And Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. Anyways, I don't know. It was just it was kind of sad. I don't usually get
I think that's just the age that we are now, that our childhood heroes are.
Dude, let me tell y'all something. And I hope it's not for a long time, because Hulk Hogan is looking like a beast again. Have y'all seen Hulk Hogan? He looks great. But the day Hulk Hogan dies, I will cry.
I will too.
I will cry like a big baby.
He keeps promising me that, Vinny keeps promising me that I'm going to meet Hulk Hogan one day. But the reality is that I've got to meet a lot of celebrities over my life. And the only time my wife has ever seen me starstruck was Hulk Hogan.
His daughter lives here, right?
She's an artist.
We've met her, yeah. But we got invited to one of the matches in Orlando, and it was like right after The Voice, so they put me in like special seating up front. And it was cool, like Ric Flair and Sting and people like that were there, and it was cool. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting right here, and you see all the crowd like get excited, and they're looking past me over here, and I look over, and Hogan is standing there. And he's making his scene and walking out to the
Let me tell you something, brother.
And my wife has a video somewhere of me trying to get my phone out of my pocket. And she was like, I've never seen you more panicky in your life. He's like, I gotta get my phone. It's Hulk Hogan right here. Dude, it was like I was freaking 4 years old. It was it's weird thinking about like how those childhood celebrities can hit you like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's crazy is I've been blessed. I got to play a show at Hogan's Beach Club back when he had it. And he come and prayed with us before we got on stage to sing.
Very cool.
It was really cool. He had a Bud Light in one hand. That's before Bud Light got canceled. But he had a Bud Light in one hand. He was in there praying, Lord, keep these guys safe while they're on stage tonight. Da, da, da. He loves music. He was a bass player, and that's how they found him, was actually playing in the band whenever they walked in. And
I bet he looked funny playing bass.
It was a big bass. But it was... that wasn't the first time I met him. I'd met him before at a event here in Nashville, and it was a real quick meet. But that night I got to sit down and talk with him a little bit, or stand there and talk with him a little bit, and seen him a couple times since then. Every single time, it's like I'm 5 years old in the book fair trying to find the Hulk Hogan stickers just so I can be like, I got something from Hulk Hogan. I won't get emotional talking about it, but it's one of the coolest things I think that I've done in my life is get to meet a guy that, when you think about when we were kids, I don't know if there was anybody more famous than him.
Dude, still to this day, his face and Mickey Mouse's face are the most recognizable faces in the world, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
So let's make it happen.
All we got to do is go in there and do the karaoke on Monday nights at Hogan's.
Let's do it.
He's there every Monday night.
All right, the podcast is traveling now.
Tampa, we're going to Tampa. I got his son's number, Nick Hogan, and I got his daughter's number.
Right.
Sorry, I had to read that note he wrote me. It says something about like and follow and share and subscribe and give us 5 stars and
sing it.
Give us 5 stars. Give us a like. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Anyway.
I feel like he didn't write all that.
And share and subscribe.
Yeah, share and subscribe. Anyways, we're going to talk more about celebrities in the future. We are going to go see Hulk Hogan one way or the other on Monday night in Tampa. It's a done deal. It's a guy trip, and we're going no matter what our wives say. Bam!
That's alpha.
Just kidding.
That was very alpha.